Election, selections, and reduction of seduction or repression. Number one, the San Diego Voice and Viewpoint can usually pinpoint who to reappoint so you won't disappoint the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Two, Common Cause will let you pause and give you voter clause with no hidden clause, avoiding a political hog. Three, the League of Women Voters has strong motors to detect fascist brokers and prudent shoppers. Four, Google Public Citizen, so any election decision does not make your vote a denizen of putrid division. Five, find VoteSmart, facts for all. They heed the call to have our backs against those that stall and are not on the ball. Six, and then there's our hometown reader, and the second page is under the radar, where local political dirt is an important sidebar, exposing all the impudent bandards. That's a monkey. Seven, let's not forget Indian Voices, the indigenous newspaper that traces local races and helps us see faces of truth or consequences and gives us safe spaces. And why do we need these political resources? Because there might be one candidate that allows us to ask, in 2019, was it Hurricane Barry or Hurricane Imelda or Hurricane Lorenzo that produced this political atrocity? Well, what is the atrocity, you might say? In 2019, the Trump administration redirected funds from FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, to immigration enforcement. Specifically, about $155 million was reallocated from FEMA's disaster relief budget to one of those hurricanes to ICE. Why are you voting? Why are 70 million of you voting when this one candidate had $364 million verdict in civil fraud case, $2 million charity abuse judgment, 88.3 million sexual abuse verdict, 26 sexual assault allegations, $25 million fraud settlement, one fake university shut down, one fake charity shut down, one convicted company, 5 draft deferments, 91 criminal charges, 2 impeachments, 6 bankruptcies, 4 indictments. What the hell is the matter with you people? Let's all register to vote and make a change happen. I'm Jim Marino, and this is Second Sunday Jimmy Poetry. Let's do some housekeeping. Our feature is here. Angelina's over there. Let's give her some love, please. Professor of Ethnic Studies at Palomar, and I'll say more about her when it's time for her to come up. And we're so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming. You're very busy professora, very busy. Little housekeeping. The restroom is behind me on the left, and the gentleman behind me and on the back of the podium is Jimmy Collins. He's passed away. He was a veteran, Army veteran, and he trained me to do this. This is what he trained me to do. This is an all-people place. All cultures, all colors of skin, all religions, all countries are welcome here. And we are on Zoom. And the reason we're on Zoom is because this genius to my left, Alfred Williams, is our Zoom master. I have 3 websites, and he trained me to do a podcast. So if you're interested in that, please see him after this is all over. Angelina is going to be available to sign her books. We have the authors table over there. If you have some CDs or books that you would like to sell here, Jimmy Collins said we have to support our artist community. We have to do that. So what you have with his art likeness here, and this is one of his prints. He was always wearing a hat. He was always about doing these kind of things, and that's what we want here. So some of you have come from pretty far away. And so we're really grateful that you're here. And we are always, Alfred and I, when we get together to get this online in the next few days, Alfred and I are always talking about, wow, did you hear that poem by Junior? Junior, raise your hand, please. Raise your hand, Junior. Did you hear that poem by Chris Ernest Nelson? That was amazing. Raise your hand, Chris. Raise your hand. And Deborah Ramos, did you see when she got up on the floor? She did. Raise your hand. And next Sunday, she'll have Poets of the Grove, and I hope you'll talk about that to everybody when you come up. It started out as be the Poets Bench, and she took a hold of it. And there's a nice village that shows up on the last Sunday of the month at the Poets Grove, and some of those folks are here too. So we're really happy about this today, because we got the election coming up. There's a flyer over next to Angelina's books about this Saturday. Alfred and I and the San Diego Tijuana Evolutionary Poets Brigade is going to be at the World Beat Center in Balboa Park. We're going to do a voter education registration poetry event, and there'll be 8 poets, and we have 5 film clips, one of which is the Project 2025. If you don't know what that is, you can come on Zoom or you can come in person to the World Beat Center, and you really should know what the game plan is if the Agent Orange Man wins this election. So please register to vote, and let's all use our voices. Are you ready for some poetry?
Yeah.
It's really important that there's certain thing you should know about this first poet, and that he was the San Diego beat poet, and then he was the California beat poet, and then he was United States beat poet, and now he's the international beat poet. But do not offer him decaf. Chris Lanoy.
Every day, pushing shopping carts that sink plank over cracks in the sidewalk. City stalkers, nomads of the 21st century. There's one tooth suit, talks to herself. Remember she was prom queen. See there, how she turns away from her reflection in that plate glass window? She's wondering who the old wrinkled woman is. Did you hear her? Not me, not me, not me. There's Martin Sharp flipping cards on the pavement. Come on, bro, just watch these cards. They've been a sign. I know that you're wearing this tie. 2 down and 1 up. Which one? Which one? Only one, bud. There, dude, I'm trying to guy around town. Bald Betty over there. You're out to run with the old blankets around her head. Sings all the church hymns too, but she can remember the words. Cancer treatment took all those savings she had left after the house was sold. There's 3-Finger Joe tipping that bottle, Ripple Schuyler. Squeezes his eyes shut against the sun. He's breathing lightly today. Guy had to pay 2 busted ribs. Those punks, they wouldn't have messed with him 10 years ago. I kicked both their asses good. See those 2 missing fingers on his right hand? That's what ended his boxing career. It broke his spirit. Spit him out in the streets of piss and booze. There's Wanda, waiting over by the shelter door. There's 2 dirty-faced kids. He's trying to hide her fear and humiliation. The skull on the side of her face, swearing silently to herself. This is going to be the last time he's ever going to hit her. The second time this month. 2 unpressed charges. What can the cops do? You see them all the time, every day, and I know most of them. All the regulars anyway. They just ordinary people just trying to get by on what they got. Scraping like the rest of us. Only most of them have to scrape a little harder, dig a little deeper down their souls just to survive these days. Life's not easy. They're on the streets. Hell, life ain't easy anywhere nowadays. Always someone waiting in a shelter or around the corner where the street lamps don't shine. Waiting just to bash your head in with a lead pipe. And for what? For what? These people ain't got nothing banned for clothes on their backs. Buddy says he can see their spirits go. always howl, just like an old hound dog. Oh, heard him howl a while ago, over that way. Means you seen someone dead. Be sure when old buddy howls that someone's done gone to meet his maker. But it's about time to get in line for the mission. It's good food. Once you get past the preaching, you wanna come? All right. Maybe I'll see you around. Make no stories about things that you have here on the streets or on the finish shrine.
Yes, yes.
That's Chris Manoy. Let's give him some more love. And I'm so glad we didn't have to give you first aid. Please, let's both approach from this side of the stage. Janice Alper has a book that she's published, I think more than one. And we're always glad to have her here. She used to be over on Adams Street with us when we were there. This is Janice Alper.
Yes.
It's always hard to follow you, Chris. Anyway, I have two today. This first one has two epigraphs. It's called Mother Earth, I Weep for Thee. The first epigraph: God took the man, placing him in the Garden of Eden to work and keep it. Genesis 2:15. And the second: the earth is our mother. She nourishes us like that, but that which we put into the ground, she returns to us. Big Thunder, Wabanaki, Algonquin. Mother Earth, I weep for thee. You spread your ample legs, births creatures great and small, forests and oceans, plains and deserts, purple mountains, majesty. For millions of years, your breasts nourished the planet's bounty. And when humans came to this Garden of Eden, they tended to it as if to a helpless child. Unto the 100th generation, children taught their children to plant in their seasons, take shelter from the tears of your storms. And when they waged war to save the trees for shade and fruit, to free the captives and glean their fields, so the poor may eat. Every day your breath made the sun to rise and the moon and set, the moon and stars to guide travelers in the night. But now, dear mother, your breasts have dried up. Your legs are crippled, your mouth is parched. No fresh water to drink, your back aches, no more grassy meadows for a soft bed to lay your head. Your icebergs groan and calve, oceans warm, hurricanes, monsoons uproot trees, wildfires devour the parched earth. It's as if you are an artist's model, pose naked, show your whole body scarred from neglect. We have scorned and sneered at you in the name of progress. Thank you. I used to like to cook, but now I don't do too much of it anymore. But I have a few recipes. I have 4 of them. Tell me if I'm going over time and I'll skip to the last one. The first one. This is Janice's famous mandelbrot, or Jewish biscotti. 3 eggs beaten with love, add a cup of sugar, mix gently, add a cup of cooking oil. By the way, this works. 2 teaspoons baking powder. So what if it's a little less, or maybe more? A teaspoon of salt, and best of all, 2 tablespoons of vanilla. Throw in a cup of walnuts, a like amount of chocolate chips, mix. Add flour until its consistency you like. Refrigerate for an hour or overnight. Then, when it's just right, shape into loaves, place on a pan, and put into 350-degree oven until it's done. Remove the loaves, slice them into slim or maybe thick bars, sprinkle with cinnamon and sugar, place back on the pan, put back in the oven for 10 minutes till it's done. Yum, yum. And 2, how to prepare a 2-minute talk about everything, anything. Decide on your topic, make an outline, review, highlight the main points. What could be eliminated? Maybe write it out on the computer, or heaven forbid, Anita, you'll like this, on index cards. Rehearse in front of the mirror, review again. Allow yourself at least 1 month in advance for proper presentation. 3, serious about the environment. Become a tree hugger. Plant trees whenever possible. And when you travel to distant places, plant a tree for every 1,000 miles. Recycle, but be sure it's recyclable. And bring your cloth bags to the market or use paper. Watch your diet. Go for the plant-based stuff. It's better for you and your health. Let the red meat and butter remain on the shelf. Grow a native garden, even if you live indoors. Succulents love the heat and can often be ignored. Turn off your appliances and lights when not in use. Drink water from the cup. This bottled stuff is manufacturer's ruse to get you buy things that advertise for them. Show them you're not game with your personal bottle. Take public transportation. You can read and people watch. It's relaxing to your destination. 4, some ways, not all, to repair the world. Spend time at a food bank. Remember that one who has less than you is not less a human being. Ask an unhoused person their name. Listen to each other. Agree to disagree. Support World Kitchens. Write letters to your congressperson about what's on your mind. Be sure to say what you care about. It may be food drops to Sudan and Somalia, assistance for those stranded by hurricanes and natural disasters, preserving our national parks, other issues that spark your fancy. Special note, anyone can be part of this recipe and make it. But the big one is vote. Vote on November 5th. Thank you very much.
That was a perfect example of how poets get 5 minutes or 2 poems, whatever comes first. And musicians get 2 songs or 10 minutes. And we hope that there'll be some musicians that will be here frequently as well, because we sure like music. Our next poet told us when he got here that the last book of all the books that were published, he's got it in his hand. This is Chris Ernest Nelson.
So hang on to your copies. It's now like oil. Ladies and gentlemen, I already voted. Which means the rest of you don't have to bother. The job is done, trust me. Trust me. Okay, well, try if you can. I'm Chris Ernest Nelson, and this is Hard Lessons. There were those easy lessons of the street, walking the uneven concrete with eyes fixed on the blinking blocks beyond, listening to the mangled voices of the rough and angry, abandoned by those who once held them dear. Now they were abandoned to the confusions of crude desires, loneliness, and hunger. Violence was a private affair, shared grudgingly with other misfits, and the victims always oneself. Long nights, awake, and days looking dead to those who passed. The hard lessons were beaten out at home among those who shared the same table, where meals were trials of endurance and emotions were limited to rage, guilt, and profound emptiness. And hard lessons ran deep in the bedroom where darkness devised. Nothing harder than a custom of disinterest and arbitrary cruelty that served soundly to harden the back and break the spirit. Then there were the hiding places for fruitless fantasies of love, entirely unwelcome in the open spaces, harried by insolent slanders and accusing tears. Thank you for listening. And this poem is fresh off the, what do you call it, laser printer? It's very short, but it's one of my very few political poems, so therein. Some few of us will linger at the edge of the crowd until it disperses. Then we go in to see what's left behind. We go in to consider the damage the festival of follies and lies has done, and to listen for the echoes of such tattered truths as may have survived the fireworks. Thank you very much for listening.
Leilon and Kathy, if you would like to read, please contact Alfred on the Zoom and let him know, and we'll put you on the sign-up list, please. Can we give some love to Leilon and Kathy, please? They're just really nice people. Besides really good poets. Our next poet is a musician. He's also moonlights as our sound man. And if you've ever been to his house, you can see how handy he is with his hands. Not only is he a great poet and musician, but he's a craftsman as well. And a very, very good one. This is Jack Stewart Smith.
Good rescue, well, never works. I'm sorry, it's static, I don't know what.
I think we should give a big hand to Alfred for the cat-like reflexes that grabbed Chris Roy as he was falling off the stage. Let's give him a big hand. He single-handedly saved a poet laureate international lifetime.
And our memorial reading.
Well, yeah, you guys really have it. Hello, family. I love you all.
Love you.
Love you, Jack.
Oh, and I love that. Back and forth. The name of this poem is We Humans. To have power, worldwide power, means eventually there will be a people somewhere with different views or religions that will need to be completely demonized, that will need to be erased and removed. Oh, such a sad state of being as yachts of the elite go upstream, claiming rivers of blood as their own. It's cleansing in the name of their God. Oh, holy, oh, holy, oh, how holy are we? Oh, holy hell. We must never allow this to happen to us. So swim in the sweet, deep red waters. Rest upon decaying shorelines. The future is ours for the taking. Hey, bury those bones over there quickly. It's time to rejoice and sing. This land is our land. This land is our land. This land was made for you and me. This land was not made for anyone. Shouldn't we all learn to share? Something that this universe has provided should be celebrated, not owned by all. Thank you. This one is Eternal River. We know it's not, right? But how many know it's not our land? Sing that song to a bunch of Native Americans and see how happy they are. Eternal River. Oh, such a vastness. Some would tremble as they stood too near. A river made of tears, of blood and life. Some dove deeply into its turbulent flow. The curious officers waded ankle deep, while others camped safely along the shoreline. The signs read, "Take heed and notice, thou shalt never be complete till you drink your fill of these waters." But the signs had all fallen down, overgrown with thickets and wildflowers, the message seemingly lost forever. Only a gentle pulse quickens us now. As noises of chaos get louder and louder, have our teachers and guides faltered? In stillness, a voice continues calling us back, back to a river of love. Come now, one, come now, all, back to the eternal river. Thank you.
Our next poet, I think this is her first time here. Bridget, is this your first time with us? It is? So I'm not quite sure what to say, but she's a friend of Janice's, so she's gotta be good. This is Bridget Roberson.
Thank you. So this is
My
a
lawn,
short poem that I
copy
wrote
paper,
called
wanna go
3 a.m. on the preload. Starts with a prayer. Sleep looking over my babies while I'm away. Steel toe boots, lace tied, a thermos full of coffee in hand, work gloves stuffed in the back of my pocket of my faded jeans, a head in the cold warehouse. The packages come down the conveyor belt. I stack one on top of the other, carry them into the belly of the truck, waiting to feast. It's called working the preload. A feral cat holds a dead rat in her mouth, disappears between two cars where her kittens are sleeping. She knows what it's like to work the preload.
Our next poet is a people person. She grew up in her family's restaurant in San Francisco, helping them out with all the kind of stuff that you do when you're a kid. You do that. She's a singer with a really, really good voice. And she holds poetry workshops in her little cottage in Del Mar for women. This is Maylon Gittleton. She muted.
Unmute yourself, Milan.
Maylon, you're
Oh, okay.
muted there. Could you unmute
Now
yourself?
can you hear
Bottom
me?
left, a little microphone with
There
a
you
red
go.
line through it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I on? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, this singing on Zoom is new to
I'm
me.
sorry, this singing on Zoom is new to me.
And but I want to give you a little context for
And
my
but I
song.
want to give you a little context for my song.
I notice I've got an echo too, and I don't know how to get
I
rid of
notice
that.
I've got an echo too, and I don't know how to get rid of that.
Any advice, Alfred?
No echo on this end.
Any
No?
advice, Alfred?
No, there's no echo
No.
on here.
Turn her mic, turn her speaker off.
Oh,
There's
okay,
no
then I
echo on
won't
this
worry
end.
about
You
it.
can hear you
Okay.
just fine. It's like you're in the room with us. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, okay. Well, then, for the
well, okay.
context,
Well then,
just
for
imagine,
the
if
context,
you will,
just
that
imagine,
you're
if
meeting
you will,
an old boyfriend
that
from the past.
you're meeting an old boyfriend from the past.
And I'm going to sing Come In From the Rain.
I'm going to sing Come In From the Rain.
Oh, I can't get it to play.
Play.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to get my accompaniment to play.
My
And
accompaniment to play. And
well, hello there, good old
hello
friend
there,
of mine.
good old
You've
friend
been
of mine.
reaching for yourself for
You've been
such a
reaching
long time.
for such a
There's so
long
much
time.
to say,
There's so
no
much
need
to say.
to explain.
No need
Just an
to explain.
open door for you
Just
to come
open
in
for
from the
you
rain.
to come in
It's
from
a
the rain.
long road
It's a
when
long
you're on
road
your own,
when you're
and a
on
man
your
like
own.
you will always
And
take
the
the
man like you
long way
will always
home.
take the long
There's
way
no
home.
right or wrong.
There's no
I'm
right
not
or
here
wrong.
to blame. I just want to
Not
be the
here to
one to
blame.
keep
Just
you
want
from the rain,
to keep you
from
from
the rain.
the rain.
And it looks like sunny
And it looks like
skies.
sunny
Now
skies.
that I know you're all right,
Now you're all right.
time has left us
Time
older
has left us
and
older
wiser. I know
and
I am.
wiser. I know I am.
And it's good to know my best
And
friend
it's
has
good
come
to know
home
my
again.
best friend has come
'Cause I
home
think
again.
of us
'Cause I
like an
think
old
of us
cliche,
like an old.
but it doesn't matter. 'Cause I love you anyway. Come in from the rain. Come in from the rain. Come in from the rain.
Milan, I don't know if you know this, but there's a rainbow that came over your head when you were singing. It was so nice. All right, here we go. Here we go. And
Are you ready for me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I haven't been able to hear you. It doesn't look like I have any audio. Okay, I'm going to start. Third Wives Club. I'm the third and best wife. You sweetly sang California Dreamin' to me as I recorded you on the Sony camcorder in the backyard of the California family home. The mountains and Guglielmo Winery were in the background. We heard mariachi music in the air. We wanted to find it. We asked, where was it coming from? She said in a disrespectful tone, it's those Mexicans at the end of Diana Avenue. I thought to myself, they were here first in Alta California. We hopped into the 1968 gold Lincoln Continental with suicide doors. We found the musica. It was a charreada. It was almost over, but the experience was priceless. The orchestra for Mexico was playing, wearing their heavy, fancy outfits with gold braided metal buttons, out in the hot, sunny afternoon sun. I took a picture of them with my Polaroid camera. I spoke Spanish and blended in. The women whispered behind their hands as they looked me up and down, a stranger in their midst. You were a novelty as the only 100% Anglo there, accepted among the people. The car was a hit. You fancied yourself a trendsetter, marrying a Latina before it was cool. The next one,
Kay and County Cullen and James Weldon Johnson and Georgia Douglas Johnson and Jean Toomer and Zora Neale Thurston, all Harlem Renaissance poets, right here in Black History Month, 2024. We stand on the shoulders of Malcolm X and Medgar and Fred Hampton and Billy and Ella and Sarah and Etta and Lena and Shirley Chisholm and Coretta Scott King. I shout to my racist father as we stand on the bones of Middle Passage martyrs carpeting the floor of the sea. My racist father, that day you embarrassed me in the streets of Pittsburgh when you screamed your racial epithets at my Muslim brothers and sisters. You were wrong, old man. You were wrong. Poetry still looks for all of us. Thank you. We'll see you next month. You're there.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
What are you gonna do?
Takes it up the same way every time and end up with different results every time.
I know, it's like we never, just never know.